I kept seeing non-stop shockwaves all throughout the internet thanks to the rumor mill suggesting that we were going to see yet another Dragon Ball Z fighting game. Now, as much as I wanted to go and see that, I couldn't help but to think, man, I would really love to have a consoleized version of some of the handheld versions of the Dragon Ball Z RPGs. Because, well, I mean, the Legacy of Goku series is fucking top-notch. Plus, there was that one on Famicom. I always forget the name of that, but fans already translated that, so there you go. But I kept on wondering, okay, so is this going to be a continuation of the Budokai Tenkaichi series? Or are we going to have another iteration into the Xenoverse series? Which, I'll be honest, I kind of lean a bit more towards the Xenoverse series, only because I like the fact that it's a bit more open-ended, feels like an adventure game and shit. But Budokai Tenkaichi overall just seems to have a better control scheme, and the roster of characters, we have been fucking spoiled thanks to that because the roster just fucking gargantuan in size. But this turned out to be Dragon Ball FighterZ with a Z on the end. Now, this is made by the same folks who do Guilty Gear over at Arc System Works. This is fighting game royalty. We're talking about the excellence of excellence. And look, Guilty Gear is my all-time favorite fighting game franchise of all time. And the fact that they are working with one of the best anime licenses that you can get your hands on, you're goddamn right I'm gonna sit there and stand up at attention. Watching this trailer that was showcased to the entire world at E3 this year on Microsoft stage, dude, you have no idea. I was just like a raging blast in my pants. It's like, this is the shit I need, a 3v3 fighter. So, we're going to end up seeing some Marvel vs. Capcom type setups where everybody's just duking it out. And it's amazing because I had seen so many folks saying, you know, this reminds me of Marvel vs. Capcom, this reminds me of Street Fighter. No, it's just Guilty Gear, but a 3v3 fighting Guilty Gear with a Dragon Ball skin wrapped around it. And this shit's straight up 2D. So no more 3D, and I'm talking actual 2D animation, hand-drawn shit. This looks fucking stunning, absolutely beautiful. When you see this shit in motion, I mean, if you've already played Guilty Gear or BlazBlue, whatever everybody wants to say, I saw that, I was just like, dude, holy fuck. This, I need all this. And apparently they're gonna have an open beta before summer ends. So everybody will be able to get their mitts on it, and what I've seen so far, it looks like they have about 6 characters. So they've got Cell, they've got Frieza, they've got Boo, Fat Boo if you're wondering, then they have Gohan, Vegeta, and Goku. So pretty much some of the mainstays that you would come to expect in some shit like this, but we've got Dragon Ball Super out, so I'm curious who they're going to be picking from that. I know one thing for sure, they need to have a healthy size roster for some shit like this, because if you were going to have a mandatory 3v3 fighter, then you don't want to have the continuous and constant setup of the same exact crew over and over again, just butting heads. Which I don't think that'll be the case, but it's something just to note and to bring up regardless, just because, well, I mean, it's worth saying. Do you really want to see the same exact fucking crew of Saiyans going after the same exact fucking bad guys? No, of course you don't. Another thing to bring up with the trailer, the music. It was nothing but headbanging, guitar shredding goodness, and for good reason. If you've played either of the series I just mentioned, then you understand their soundtracks are barred on some of the best video game soundtracks of all time. I mean, Guilty Gear to me has always had some of the best video game music ever. Like, you can just listen to that shit and enjoy the fuck out of it. I mean, even their beat 'em up, Guilty Gear Judgment, it was fucking amazing. When they made Guilty Gear 2 on Xbox 360, fucking amazing. Like, they do these spin-offs, have just as high of caliber of music. And then if you ever got to play the Persona Arena games, that was also Arc System Works. Now we're getting the Dragon Ball Z license attached to this. This is everything I want. And watching some of the footage, I've seen people going and playing this shit. It was all Japanese versions, so none of them were, I guess, the Americanized versions of the open beta that we'll be getting our mitts on at some point. But watching those, dude, every time that they had an introduction and they showed up, they're all fucking powering up. And depending on who's fighting who at the beginning of the match, they'll end up saying certain series of dialogue to one another and talking shit. Like if you end up getting, I don't know, Gohan going up against Cell, then you're gonna have them saying certain shit to each other. I'm like, all of this, all of these thumbs up. I'm hoping for a lot of obscure characters. I mean, I like a lot of the Dragon Ball Z movies, and as much as everybody will shit all over GT, I would like to see certain characters plucked from the GT universe and tossed right into this. Same exact thing with Dragon Ball. just regular ass Dragon Ball. And you know, some of the games and some of the one-offs and shit that they've had, there's characters from those. I mean, I personally think that those are things down the road that they might include in DLC or into a future release where it's gonna be like, you know, the super complete version and all that shit. And most of the fights that I got to watch were all taking place on Namek, but watching the backgrounds for that shit, everything's animated and stuff's just flying around everywhere, and it looked like, if you just saw a still image of it, some of the times that they're coming together and they're clashing in the middle of doing supers and shit and counters and stuff, it looked like something straight up from the fucking show. It was just, it's fucking bonkers. Like, right now, I actually have it on screen. And Frieza's going into the super form where absolutely all gold and shit and fucking things up, and I'm like, I can't wait. Like, and there's so many new things that they've included in the Dragon Ball Super, which, I mean, it's understandable. How many fucking episodes are we into this shit so far? And yes, it has been absolutely excellent. I can't wait. I really can't. But this, I mean, all the rumors were right about it. It was an Arc System Works Dragon Ball Z fighting game. And, you know, there's certain folks out there that are going to get angry and upset about it because this is a much more in-depth, a much more intense, crazy as fuck fighting game compared to what you had seen with the Budokai series and the Xenoverse series. So, certain Dragon Ball fans are probably going to get their hands on this and be like, what? And it's going to be over the top. I get all that shit, but trust me when I say this. If you want to get kind of familiarized with what you're going to be expecting with this, go pick up the Guilty Gear game. Just do it. I mean, everybody who's a fighting game fan should have a motherfucking Guilty Gear game and go headlong into this shit. I still think that they're going to continue with the Xenoverse series and all that shit. I don't see why they would end up stopping it, but maybe Bandai Namco, you could give us a Dragon Ball Z open world RPG on console. I'm just saying, it'd be kind of nice. You know, I know that this will be releasing on PC, PS4, and Xbox One, but maybe we could get some love for the Switch, because I know that, I'm pretty sure that this is being developed. Don't quote me on this, I'm pretty sure this is being developed through the Unreal 4 engine, which the Switch can handle. We need this. We need Dragon Ball FighterZ, with a Z, on the go. We need that shit. Just trust me. Just do it. Make everybody happy. Make Nintendo fans happy. Make it, and cross-play across everything. Because we've been seeing a bit more of that lately, and that's something that, if you're going to get into the competitive nature of games like this, which if you're not, I don't know why the fuck you're even playing a fighting game, but still, I'm hoping that there's a jam-packed story mode. I'm hoping that there's some exclusive characters that are only in this shit right here. Like, can you imagine Soul Bad Guy and Kai Kisuke showing up in this shit? I mean, they technically could if they wanted, and I'd be all for it. Just, oh, smiles for miles, and miles. God damn, would it be fucking good. But all the footage, it looked amazing. It looked fast as fuck, frantic as shit, and everybody was just pummeling the fuck out of each other. The tunes were just nothing but fucking guitars shredding, just good shit right there. Arc System Works, they have always delivered. Every single time when it came to a fighting game, they were knocking that shit straight out of the park. You guarantee it. They were hitting that shit like they were fucking Yamcha. And Yamcha, always much love for Yamcha and Krillin and Tien. I just always want them to just become the shit and just like do it in the show, put it into the fucking game. Just I can't wait. Anyway, I'm happy as fuck. E3's got plenty of other things that I gotta go and discuss. So check out my other E3 videos if you're bored and you feel like it. But Dragon Ball Z fans, Arc System Works fans, gamers are winning. That's all that really matters. This is AlphaOmegaSin, as always, nerds, nerdettes, and gamers game the fuck off.